So I've disconnected my battery right here, and then I've removed my reservoir and my windshield wiper fluid. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bracket off and move my air compressor, AC compressor. And then I move my alternator, and I'm going to try to get my water pump, or at least look at it from right here. So what I've done was I removed the coolant hose from the top of the radiator here, just to try and give me a little bit more room through here. First thing I did was I removed the AC compressor, moved it over here because it's got soft lines. And then I moved the alternator, just pushed it back. And then again, it's got wire lines, it's going to hold it in place, so don't have to worry about that. So don't disconnect anything other than the mounting bolts. Same with this. And then I moved the accessory mounting bracket. It's got your idler pulley here, and then that way you can take a look at my coolant leak, which is right here. So now that I've got this hose off, I'm loosening up all my bolts, and I'm unclamping the hoses to the water pump so I can get it off. Got my water pump off, and then I cleaned off the gasket around it. I used a wire brush and then a scrub pad, and then I wiped it down to make sure I got all the whatever's left over, residual, gasket, all that stuff, and then I wiped everything down best of my ability. I even cleaned up some of the grease around here so that it's a lot cleaner when I put it back together. And then I'm going to clean the threads. New water pump gasket, put it back on. So when I put this back in, I put the shroud in first, and then I put the water pump in next. Connected all my hoses. I topped it off with coolant because it's winter, or else I'd used water. And I pressure checked it, and the pressure check actually worked out a little better. It didn't leak off as fast. I'm hoping that's what fixed the leak. But the last thing I got to do is put everything back together and then start it up and run it and see how it works. Also, while pressure testing it to check for any leaks, I put a piece of cardboard under the truck with a foam mat because there is some coolant on the ground already. Now I put in my accessory bracket. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts that need to go in. Those hold it. Those are what are going to mount it in. But you do have this 5th one right here behind the pulley. That's the one I would put in first to keep it loose, so that there's enough play here so that you can put these bolts in. So I got my alternator in. I started with this bolt, and then I did this bolt, and this is your ground. The whole bracket was off, but I left this one in and pivoted it just to make sure that I had everything tightened down. The next thing is this little bolt here for this line. You have to put that in, and then after that I move the AC compressor back in, and you can just lift the hose. There's enough play in here where you can slide this in. And then I got my 4 bolts started, and I'm going to tighten them down, and then after that should be it, and I can just connect my battery. Now I got to put the belt back on. Right now, the way I have it set up is I have everything in a motion like this. You got to wrap around everything except for this one, because it's a smooth pulley. I'm going to loosen this, and then I'm going to push down and wrap it around this, and then that way everything should be on there like it's supposed to. There's the pulley, it's not on, but I have it wrapped around everything else the way it's supposed to. Have it on. And this is the tensioner pulley right here. Turn this around. So it's a 15 millimeter. And as you pull this up, it gives you enough leverage that with the other hand you can wrap it around that pulley right there. And everything is on there like it's supposed to. So now that I got my belt on, my pulleys, airbox is on, went ahead and connected the battery. Now it's just time to start it. These are the tools that you're going to need. This is a 9/16, 8mm, also an 8mm. This is a 9/16 half, 10mm, 3-inch extension. This is a 13mm, but the only time you use this is for the battery connectors. And then this is a 15mm crow's foot.